I even got my Little Mermaid shirt on. Look at this. And my bow. I'm ready. Hey guys, welcome back to more Quarantine Queen rankings. We have finally made it to the Renaissance princesses, and I'm pretty happy because the movies are so much more enjoyable to watch. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe down below if you enjoy these videos, and click the bell notification so you know when the next one is coming out. Let's review the rules real quick. I only rank official Disney princesses. Sorry, Nala. I only watch the original movie, and I only focus on the princesses' actions. The princesses gain and lose points based on how they follow pandemic guidelines, and the princess closest to 100 at the end wins. Now onto one of my favorite princesses, Ariel from The Little Mermaid. But before we begin, I had to set some rules since she is a mermaid for a good part of the movie. So if she interacts with anybody inside of her kingdom, that's fine. But anybody outside of Atlantis would be like interacting with a stranger. Even if the stranger is a fish, that's still not good because Ariel's part sea creature, so it's kind of the same as a human interacting with a human, it's a fish interacting with a fish. Also, going above the surface is the big no-no, since it's forbidden by not only her father, who is also the king and kind of in charge of keeping Atlantis safe, it's basically their pandemic guideline. And when she's human, well, it's pretty easy to know what's right and what's wrong. She starts the movie by not going to a concert with her sisters where there's a ton of mer people, so avoiding large crowds, that's good. Flounder does cough right next to her. It's a fake cough, but still, Flounder. It's gross. She does look around an abandoned ship, so there's points for it being abandoned, but she also does pick up a fork and she has a whole bag of other things she's collected, so that's kind of gross. You don't know where those have been. But then a shark does come to attack them, and Ariel swims away and keeps her distance very well, so good job. Then she immediately goes above the surface. Not good. And she is not 6 feet away from this weird bird Scuttle, who does not know personal boundaries at all. That's even worse. Then she is forbidden once again to never go to the surface. So again, reinforcing those pandemic guidelines. That's pretty good. And then it turns out she has more than just a bag full of human stuff. She has an entire grotto full. And these are probably unsanitary items that she's collecting and keeping because who knows how long they were under the ocean. The virus can live on surfaces from anywhere from 4 hours to like 1 to 2 days. It's unknown about the items and how long they were under the water and if they're sanitary when she collected them and how long they've been in her grotto. So I won't knock her a ton because it's so ambiguous, but all of the items are from abandoned ships which were full of people, so I'm still gonna knock her a little bit there. But she does sing and talk to animals like all of her predecessors, so points for that. And she does an entire number about wanting to be free and a part of a more exciting world. And she's definitely just in the quarantine spirit with that song. But then she goes back to the surface to a not abandoned ship full of people not following the rules. There's one rule, don't go above the surface, and she doesn't follow it. But I mean, she does stay a good distance away from everybody on the boat. At least she's trying to social distance. And more points for falling in love with the first man she's ever seen after being isolated underwater. We'll see this theme again in later movies. But Max does lick her face, and he does this a lot in the movie, so be prepared for that. I hate to ding her for this. It's so courageous and an awesome scene in the movie, but she does save a strange man from drowning. Like, she did save his life, and I'm not gonna discourage that, but he is a stranger that she just met, and he's a human, so a few points off still there. But then she does also sing right in his face. A lot of germs going on there. Not cool. But she does flee when Grimsby and Max come to save Prince Eric, so she is at least trying to limit her human contact to just Eric. Then Sebastian sings her a song about how the outside human world is a mess and it's better to stay right where you are. Very quarantine. Only a few points for that though, because she does leave during the song, and then she's touching and fawning over Prince Eric's statue that was just on the ship surrounded by humans. A few points down for that. And then Triton destroys all of her human stuff. And I mean, it's actually a good thing because now the ambiguous sanitation of all those objects is kind of just gone. It's sad, but some points. Then Ariel is approached by 2 eels, Flotsam and Jetsam, and she goes with them to see another stranger. Also, this stranger, Ursula, is very handsy, touching Ariel's face multiple times and dragging her all over her little cave. Not good. But I will say, there is something very quarantine about giving up your voice so you can go and interact with humans. Not a good thing to do, but very much in the spirit. But then when she finally becomes human, she does a lot of unsanitary things, one right after the other. She lets Scuttle, the strange bird, sit on her leg, and she kisses the crab, and she uses an old sail as clothes, and Max licks her face again, and then she's all up in Eric's business when they first meet. No personal boundaries. But she does get a bath. Look at all those bubbles. Good job. But then she brushes her hair with a fork at dinner, and she puts her mouth on this poor man's pipe. Really gross. She does, however, save Grimsby from eating a live crab that's been going all over the place, so it's pretty good. It's also her friend, so she's saving another life. Then before bed, she brushes her hair with a fork again. And they go tour his kingdom the next day. And there are a lot of people around that kingdom. Not good. And she immediately rips off this poor man's puppet off his hand. But they do seem to be alone for most of it, like when they dance together, or they go on their horse carriage ride. And yes, she is touching Eric a bit here, but he has fully sanitized her from the ocean in his cushy little palace with that bath. I'm gonna give her a pass here. And she does go on to have a very secluded date with Eric, where they're on a boat ride in a lagoon with no one around them. And all the fish and the animals, they just provide environment and atmosphere, not getting anywhere near them, just, you know, setting the mood. Good job, good date. Then she gets back to the palace and brushes her hair with a fork again. And she kisses Sebastian again the next morning. Just loves kissing that crab and having a dog lick her face. Then when she chases down the boat where Eric is going to be marrying Ursula Vanessa, she gets onto the boat and she is not near anyone. I mean, Max does come to greet her, but for once he doesn't lick her face. So that's good. And Eric does come to her and touches her hands, but he's wearing gloves. Amazing. Prince Charming returns. Ursula does attack her off the boat, but that's not Ariel's fault. What is her fault is when she attacks Ursula underwater after her dad's been all shrinkified. I get it, but stop touching people. And to wrap it all up, Max licks her face again. She kisses Flounder. And she hugs her dad goodbye, which would be fine, except that she's been with humans and interacting with them for the past 3 days, and she's actually now endangering him by hugging him. But I get it. It's a sweet ending. She loves her dad and he accepts her, so just a few points down. In the end, Ariel, the Little Mermaid herself, finishes with a grand total of 3 points. Honestly, it was touch and go there for a while. I'm surprised that she ended on the positive side. But that puts Ariel in 3rd place, way behind Aurora, and not too far ahead of Snow White, so things are starting to get interesting in this ranking. Well, our next princess is Belle from Beauty and the Beast, which should be a great time because she mostly interacts with inanimate objects. So leave a comment down below on how you think she'll do in the ranking. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe down below. Until next time, farewell.